What's up, everyone? Welcome to talk about the Faceless Men. Or Faceless Man? Anyway, Criston Cole's dead. I had to throw that as the background. Yeah, how's everyone doing tonight? I feel like it's been a while. I mean, it's been since last Tuesday since I actually streamed because I was out of town on business. I gotta say, I was almost not going to stream tonight because I am exhausted from flying out of a early morning New York City airport. And man, it was a long like past 72 hours for me. So, but I'm here and I'm like, you know what? The show must go on. So breathing, might as well just do it. So, here we are. And actually, I didn't even get a chance to watch this episode until today, like this late afternoon. Finished work, and I was like, all right, I got to watch this episode, see what's going on with it. So I was offline the better part of the last, I was on X typing and posts and stuff, but I stayed away from like a lot of the conversations around House of the Dragon. Ironically, I don't know how it happened, but maybe like a lot of people aren't even talking about it at that point. Like I know Gary, Nerdrotic, I think they cover it live Sunday nights, like after the show. But I was literally like flying into New York and then just taking an Uber into Manhattan. And by the time I actually got to my hotel room at like 1:30 in the morning, I was like, I am tired. I'm going to crash hard. And I did. So that's where we're at. But yeah, this episode was, I liked the way it started. I think last week forget who it was in the chat. Forgive me if you remember who you were. But we were kind of theorizing that this is going to be the Butcher's Bowl. And sure enough, Criston Cole, the merry young soul he is, has met his demise. And hey, one thing I thought about too is that all Criston Cole wanted was a song, and the book and the show basically made sure he dies without one, which whew. So we're gonna get into it all, but Jax, what's going on, man? I hope you are doing well. 40 Viking, what's up, my friend? I hope you are doing well. To Mad Dog, salute. This was my least favorite episode of the season, possibly the least of the show. I've been defending the show, but I felt just bored of it. Hugh's wife reminded me of Cooper's girlfriend in Landman. Oh, what was her face? Ariana, right? I could see what you mean, because Hugh's wife was definitely she seemed very ungrateful. Very absent-minded, short-sighted. You kind of hear Cole. Cole. You hear Q saying things like, "I got a dragon now. I've been knighted. We can live in a better time than we once did. I'm going to, eventually we'll be able to have our own land." And she's like, "Oh, so you're riding a dragon while I'm here in Tumbleton?" Listen, woman. No one told you to leave King's Landing. You did it yourself. If she just would have stayed there, guess what? Would have been avoided. But what's going on, Dave? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Yo, what's up, Draconis? How you doing, my brother? Criston died like he lived being screwed over by a woman. Yeah, and for the moment he takes out that little like napkin or little rag that had the A for Allison inscribed on it, and he's like, "I'm gonna wrap this around my sword ever so loosely and try to die with honor in battle." Nope. How about you take a few arrows to the gut and then straight to the face? Yeah, what's up, Dragon Master? Dude, thank you so much for the gifty, man. I appreciate that. When you hit Bubba Doom. Apparently she ran into Ray Pitler a lot on the road to Tumbleton. Got to get a grape in every episode. Yeah. When she's like, oh, it happened a lot. And I was like, yo, damn. Like, are they implying that she was like graped like every hour or something? Like, you know, like once a day? I mean, I don't know what they were trying to, you know, I mean, I get what they were kind of going for, but I'm like, I don't know. A little bit of, guess what? Maybe if you stayed, might not have happened again. In theory, sometimes staying put can be the safer route. Hughes' wife was a bit annoying. I don't think you fully understand what it means for your husband that has, right. It's like, dude, you understand that like your husband has not only a dragon, but the Bronze Fury, right? One of the biggest dragons that still currently exist. So not only is he like a formidable force, but you obviously have you know, a lot of good possibilities for your family to come, right? So it's like, oh, would it be so bad living in Dragonstone? Maybe not, but spoiler, Jamma, what's up, dude? Spoiler thumbnail, brother. I just saw the episode today. Have you not seen it yet, Jamma? Really? Man, I thought I was behind. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. What's up, Dominique? Hugh's wife blaming him for what happened to her when she decided to travel to Tumbleton alone. Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I was like, the face Hugh had. I wonder if I could pull it up on this video stream I had. But he was like, wow, what is this? What is this dialogue that's happening right now? Like, this is not the welcoming that I thought I was going to receive here. Like, the man sneaks into town, right? I guess it was kind of clever. And then surprises her. I thought she was going to start, like, you know, getting very hysterical. And then people be like, oh, who's that, you know, big, burly, you know, blonde dude? May or may not look like a Targaryen, but at the same time, is he causing a ruckus? Is he trying to, you know, feel up on this lady who's actually his wife? But okay, hang on. Let's pull it up. But yeah, I didn't really like that part. I mean, because okay, seeing what happens between their conversation now, I don't know how that's going to spark, spoiler, the betrayal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how that's going to spark the betrayal for Hugh. It's like, your own wife doesn't want to be with you right now. Obviously, like, he still loves his wife, but, you know, he should probably just, like, I don't know, carry her out and just leave. Obviously, it would probably be a lot more difficult at that point, but more excited for X-Men final 2 episodes than this, honestly. It's a weird thing to say that I'm looking forward to seeing how the last 2 episodes of this season end, because there's some things that obviously are again just so different, and I'm like, I don't know how they're going to fill in the gap here, or because like obviously they're still deviating from the book. Like at least Butcher's Ball was the closest thing to the source material still, but obviously they changed some stuff out, and you know obviously everything with Gwaine still different, still has been changed as we knew it was going to be. We discussed that a couple times already, but yeah, it was just very, very odd to see how to see the next 2 episodes happen. Now, I don't know if we're actually going to get the Tumbleton battle next episode, or if we might get the big battle as the finale. So, like, Gwain's gonna die there now. We know that. That's where his final resting place will be. And no one you notice no one travels alone in Westeros. The nobles certainly don't travel without being armed and with guards. Yeah, because there's always someone that could potentially see who's wandering the roads, especially at night. I mean, there's been countless times in Game of Thrones where you always see people, and I guess maybe certain characters can get by, but like let's go back to season what was it, season 4 of Game of Thrones, where the Hound's traveling, or I should say, with Arya's traveling with the Hound, right? And I mean, it's the Hound, so people don't really stand a chance against him. But still, Arya would never be able to travel all the roads alone. So just take her for a ride on Vermithor. She'll forget about being pissed off. Right, exactly. Just throw her on your dragon, and then peace out. It's that simple. It's that simple. So, but yeah, I mean, I think overall this episode, I think it started off on a high note because R.I.P. Criston Cole, and now I can message certain people and be like, your glazing days of Cole are over. I may or may not be referring to someone who likes feet, too much feet on the internet, and is short, and wears glasses on stream. During Jaehaerys' rule, you probably could have traveled the road safely during the Civil War, though. She was stupid. Right? Yeah, it's a good point, though, Dave. Like, depending on who was king, you probably stood a better chance, or you realize like, we probably don't want to do this, or else we'll have like some severe repercussions. But yeah, when people are vying for the throne, so and so's dead. There's a civil war between the Targaryens, right? Like, probably not the best idea. So, again, I don't know what in her mind, and I'm not gonna. It'd be too easy to make a woman joke, but I don't know what in her mind would compel her to be like, my husband might be back. I should stay here. Like, he'll look for me at home. Right. At least would be like the best starting spot. But then you're going to go off to Tumbleton and not realize, well, like, Tumbleton, just a town, doesn't necessarily mean that it's like off limits for battle. Right. Criston actually got a chance to display why he's the greatest warrior of this day. That's a bit different. Yeah, I mean, like, I think the whole who's the better warrior is an interesting topic. Because while he did beat Daemon in the the joust, like the 1v1. I wonder if you did like a best 2 out of 3, if it would have happened again. I always wondered if, again, I know it was just written that way from George, but in the event of a rematch potentially happening, we'll see what happens. Who knows? Daemon might win the next one. Now, if he beats, Daemon again, right? So, like, if you defend your title, but I don't remember who else he I don't know who else would be good enough to defeat him right now besides Daemon. So I won't knock on Criston Cole being not the best warrior, but like, he was definitely like on that sort of ego trip where he's like almost and I know this, he doesn't know about mythology from from the Greeks, but it's like almost like he was kind of being written as someone who would want to be like Achilles, and just being the best warrior. Like, that's why they won't remember your name, sort of idea. But guess what? No one's singing the songs. Yeah, him getting shot in the gut twice and then in the face by by Blackwood. That I wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh, and I thought, man, I would have liked to have seen him kind of go down in a sword fight, but this is war, and obviously him being a traitor, it's like, nah, man, we're here to slaughter you. So, and look, he did go out like, like a warrior. He obviously was using that flail around a lot very well. Some brutal, deaths, some nice, chunks being taken to people's faces. Obviously running through people a lot with the sword. So I don't know offhand how many people he killed in the opening, but he obviously, I got at least a dozen, I want to say. So he went down and he tried to rally his troops. But when you're being circled like that, there's just, I understand why he'd be like, how about like, we'll settle this the old ways, like in the beginning of Troy. Your best guy versus my best guy, which is why he's like, how about you 2v1 me, right? I could beat this kid and this older guy, probably no problem. Nah, man. Have some arrows. Eat some timber. They didn't show us Criston being Harwin Strong, changing his name to Broke Bones. Yeah, that's another thing that they changed, which I don't know why they do these things. I really don't. We've been seeing this all season in particular, but obviously most of the series too, aside from season 1. But season 1 was a lot better. Obviously, we all know that. Yeah, what's up, Brent? How you doing, man? But yeah, like that opening was, again, just very well done. So that was the high point of the episode, and I think the rest of the episode was just very okay to me. Nothing spectacular. I don't know if I would say this is I'd say last week, episode 5 to me is still the weakest of the episodes. Because I think it was obviously it was setting up Cole's death for this episode. And yeah, maybe that you could say the highlight was the Gold Cloaks being murdered. But in this episode, the Gold Cloaks are like, we're gonna pack it in, Prince Daemon. And I forget the older Gold Cloaks guy's name, but I could probably look it up real quick. But the fact that he says something, I think, rather important, though. He says, my family comes first. We already don't have coin. I don't want them to not have a father, right? So I'm like, you know what? As a man, as a guy who preaches masculinity and wants to see, people, is some good pro masculinity. I'm like, that is actually something I appreciate. I think the fact that he is like, I don't care about the queen. It sucks that I've already seen friends, other fathers die for this, but we're not getting paid. I'll just do something else. And obviously, Prince Daemon kind of tries to, in a way, kind of manipulate them, almost casually fear mongering them into saying, what happens when they try to break into your homes and try to pillage and who or worse, or grape your wife, or kill you, right? Yeah, in the attempt of stealing or whatever. So like that's one of those things where I was like, I understand what Damon's doing, but I understand if people don't want the job at that point. Like, some jobs are not worth dying over. So, some are. Man was like, this isn't one of them. I'm not one of them. I think there'll be no songs about you, Kingmaker. Yeah. And the fact that they didn't give it to him, I was like, that sucks. Yeah, I think there would be no songs about you Kingmaker line would be given to Gwaine when they see his head at Tumbleton. Probably. Which it doesn't quite fit the same for Gwaine as it does for Cole. Like Gwaine should have died. Like everyone, more people like Cole than they do Gwaine. So you give a much better line to a lesser character because they're trying to build up the whole tension between Daron and Ormond and Gwaine now. Like Gwaine was this older brother to Daron that was like protecting him from Ormond. Weird. There's some like weird stuff going on. Like Ormond's a weird character. He's a weird guy. What's up, Miss Sparkles? How you doing? Got some ladies here. Hello, Sherry. How are you doing, dearie? Last I heard you were traveling to Canada, I think. Glad to see you're well. Corbo, yeah, grape. I can tell my wife getting blueberried, but I draw the line at grape. He's out of line, but he's right. Yeah. I think it'll be Gwaine saying it to himself more than anything in a sad morning kind of way. Yeah. Almost kind of realizing what's happening when the gates are being flooded with other troops, and maybe when he realizes the war is lost, that they're not going to win, and maybe he sees his death coming at that point. So, I mean, he might think too, like, well, if they're here, that means Cole's dead. So, guess I'm next. It was inevitable. I imagine Gwaine as a name you give the identical twin after you name the first one Wayne, and the next bet that it was twins. Gwaine and Wayne. I don't know if I've ever, well, I don't know. I don't think I've ever met anyone named Gwaine in real life. Back home and with some ice cream. That sounds lovely. No pun intended. Or maybe pun intended. Right, exactly. Gwaine is canonically gay, so Ormond making homophobic comments is the writer's unsubtle way of telling us Ormond is the bad guy. Yeah, and so then I was wondering, I'm like, was Daron being groomed at all by Gwaine while Gwaine was there? Obviously, Ormond is definitely trying to groom him in a way, right? To building him up into something, obviously, by saying, oh, by the way, you're king now, Daron. I mean, I say I was surprised to see it, but Daron asking, oh, have you seen my mother there? Yeah, we did. Well, she's not here anymore. she's about to be at Harrenhal. So hurtful, homophobic comments or jokey ones. Yeah, keep your back to the wall. I mean, I thought it was funny. I think he implied Gwaine was grooming Daron. Yeah, I was wondering, like, was Gwaine trying to groom Daron, or was Gwaine trying to say that no, you've got it wrong, Daron? Ormond is actually trying to groom you instead. Right, exactly. Yeah, this is what I was thinking. Like, because to me, Gwaine being there, Daron looked to Gwaine like the brother who, like a brother, not an actual brother, right? That could protect him from Ormond. Like, he might feel a bit more safe now that Gwaine is there. But also, Ormond got a weak stomach, bro. When the Baratheon force that Rhaenyra sends, like, oh, actually, I do have an idea. You could try and assassinate Daron and just like pledge fealty to him and say this is who you are. But obviously, how could you account for someone actually knowing what you look like and then Gawain being there as a coincidence? Kind of allowed, again, maybe that protective role. Like if Gawain wasn't there, Darren might have died. Ormond might have died too, because they probably would have taken him by surprise. But also, they were really stupid when the one guy in the front of the Baratheons, where Ormond's like, "Oh, he's right here," and they were like, they might have just like, "Holy shit, guys, it's him!" Like they did it. They were not subtle at all. Like they could have been like, "Oh, it's Darren," and then like kind of just go to kneel, and like as you kneel, then unsheath your sword and start striking people. But like they were so dumb, and no wonder again Gawain just I mean, yeah, Gawain killed a couple of them, right? The one dude got like split from his stomach straight down, like oof. Like Darren obviously was found that all appalling. He didn't throw up. Ormond started puking. Ormond couldn't stand like the smell and like the stench of the long road that it took to get there. Because like Ormond, we know Ormond is like very particular. Seen Joseph on a British TV film at a music festival. A grandson and granddad shared a tent, and a newscaster asked the grandson, "Are you Grandpa's birthday present?" And even the kid was laughing. Yeah, that's not so and so Baratheon. I know. I used to date him, right? Yeah, make fun of Gawain for being gay, but the fact that he knew how good looking the real Sir Dude Baratheon say that. Yeah, he goes, no, the real Baratheon is blonde or whatever, right? So, yeah. Does it mean Ormond can't fight? The smell of the battle. So that was my next question. I was like, if he can't stand the smell and the stench of being on the field, seeing bodies, getting hacked and killed, and just the, presumably people shitting their pants when they're dying. But just depending on how long the battle is going on, like the decaying of bodies is not a pleasant smell. So I don't know how he gets by with all that, unless he's just behind the wall, the closed doors the entire time. So he's never had to deal with it. That's kind of like, I don't know. I guess I don't know. We'll see what happens if they actually have him killing people, but Ormond fights with the COVID mask. Yeah, it prevents him from getting those particles in his nostrils. Right, like I think he knows how to fight. Like I guess my question is like, how many people has he fought against and like defeated? Has he killed? Right, so like the road that Gawain went on, the path, we'll say path for a better word. The path that Gawain went on with Cole, I don't think Ormond could have done the same thing. When they're just trekking through like the mud and the forest and everything, I don't know if he would have done it. So it's weird how Gawain seems to be a bit stronger in that regard. Give him an insomnia by taking a cattle iron to his nostrils. Suck it up, buttercup. Right? Yeah, we'll just singe them so you can't smell. Like, just remove your whole sense of smell at that point. But he's just not cut out for it. That's why Darren was like, his face is just like, oh my God, what's happening? What's happening? And then Ormond's like, he starts, puking. Kudos to young Darren, not the king. of the realm. But yeah, I think I was trying to think what else from the book. So I didn't have a ton of time today to go to reread it with my schedule, but from what I remembered, um, I think Cole's death works a lot. And I would say, for the sake of what we were just talking about for Gwen will probably die in the next episode or two. He doesn't make it past the season for sure. For which also kind of puts other things in perspective as to when we'll probably see some things. Like I don't think we're gonna see any I don't know if we'll see any betrayal next episode. Maybe. Like I watched the preview for next week, and I'm gonna watch it again with everyone here. And I haven't looked at like the stills or anything like that either, but for next week, because sometimes the stills will show different scenes or possibilities than the trailer does, of course. So we'll have to go through them. Yo, what's up, Beans? How are you doing? How is your early mornings? You think it's something innate with this character where no amount of exposure to battle could get him used to it? It's possible. Like maybe that's something that has just he's always like had a reluctancy to do, where he doesn't like being in battle, even though he likes being in battle, because he knows that like it doesn't matter, how much bloodshed he commits himself or he's around, or seeing the the post consequences of war or battle for that matter, and he just can't get used to it. Like we know he could. I would imagine he's a decent sword fighter, but yeah, maybe he just can't stand the kind of brutal killings that just happened in front of him. I'm glad we got to see Criston be a badass word before he got murked. Yeah, we were kind of saying that earlier on when we started, where I do think they showed that Cole went out like a G. Like he killed about a dozen men or so. I don't know if that's the the correct number. Just, taking a shot, but obviously him getting a couple arrows was brutal. He just went out of a sword fight, one last sword fight, because like what's his face says, like, we came here to die sword in hand. So he was like, all right, I can do that. I'm gonna wrap my sword around with the woman I slept with once and was simping for, and I will never be able to simp again for. And now I'm done. It was I have it as my background here, but it's the arrow to the face. And what do you think his last thought was in this moment? You guys think he was like, I should have seen that coming? Or like, at least I killed some people? You think he was thinking about Allison here? All right, husband, it'd be a work for him. Yeah, I was struggling to get to bed last night, Beans, when I was in New York, and I had to wake up about 4:30 to get ready for my flight, which was early flight. I got delayed because that's always fun too. But yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna sleep hard tonight though. The baker's dozen. Cole did have a habit of being yeah. See you next Tuesday, Struck, as Joffrey Lawnmouth put it. Yes. Oh yeah, no, he definitely slept with her more than once. I mean, he had to have, but I don't think he got with anyone else, right? Or am I forgetting who else did he sleep with? Or is it just her in the show? Blessed relief. He's been death seeking since Rook's Rest. That's true. I feel like he realized like this was the end, and it kind of maybe like made sense. But you know, probably just my guess was he was probably thinking about Allison in the end, and yeah, probably relieved. And yeah, it's like, well, I took down as many as I could, right? Because like he was the one who realized that like these men didn't die here, and then the ambush happened. I think Cole was like, well, dag nabbit. Wait, did he sleep with Rhaenyra? Then I just forgot that? When was that was in well, season 1, right? I think. Wow, but how did I forget that? Yeah. Oh. I don't remember what episode it was, but yeah, maybe I do remember now. All right. Well, he slept with 2 queens, I guess. Princesses. Season 1, episode for Dr. Damon took her out calling. Oh, that's right. That episode. Yeah, because in the book, I was like, I didn't think it happened in the book. That's true. God, who hasn't she slept with yet? The new Dragon Seeds, of course, but she's kind of toned it. I think she's kind of toned it down recently. Well, she's back sleeping with Damon when he's actually there, but Jamma. Yeah, besides the Anor. Because he was gay. Yeah, I think just, you know, I mentioned Dragon Seeds. I think for the sake of, who is it? Alan and Bela. I knew at the moment they started chatting, it's like, you know, a bed would be more comfortable. And she was probably like, yeah, your bed. It's like, oh no, we shouldn't. I'm like, they're about to start getting it on. Yeah, I was like, well, Jace is dead. So I was married to who would have been king at some point. Best I can settle for now is a dragon seed, dragon rider. You know, we share similar blood. It's fine. You'll be a Valerian soon enough, Alan. Don't worry about it. Didn't you sleep with 3 peeps? That we know of. Yeah, I don't know where that came from, honestly. Because I thought it was, and that's a good point, Dave. Because in last episode, when they're talking and Adam is kind of like listening to her go on this rant, right? And he's the one that's saying like giving her like a pep talk. But I thought that was like the chemistry, like that would probably move her towards him. And then this episode, it's like, nope, you went for the other brother instead. You went for the older brother. And I don't know if they did it because like she's the older sibling to Rhaena, which we'll get to in a second. But then I don't know what other reason they would do that aside from saying like, well, they're the 2 oldest, so yeah, which again doesn't really make much sense. But score 2 of the most prominent chicks in the whole kingdom. Yeah, I mean, aim high, score high. Best I can settle for now is my half uncle. Yeah. Typical Targaryen. Best I can settle for is someone that's in my family. Setting up some love triangle. Oh. Just don't be showing them. Don't know threesome. That would just be weird. Well, my nephew / stepbro is dead. Might as well ban my uncle. Exactly. Like, but yeah, I agree though. I think their conversation last week was very respectful to what Bela was feeling, but what also Adam had felt for a while now is what. But I think Adam having this positive outlook where she's talking about purpose, and Adam's like, you still have a purpose though, like there is still a path before you. And she's probably thinking like it almost seemed like he was kind of leading her up, like the path before you as they're facing each other could be me. And like she's going, yeah, maybe you're right, maybe you're all right about this path forward. I'm gonna go bang your brother though. Peace. Oh yeah, so yep, we know Cole, Leonor, Harwin, Strong. We know Strong for sure, right? Damon, obviously, she had to have slept with Massaria. Had to have. True. I figured again. I thought they might change the course of that because that's just what I expected to see the part of that change, but there again, look, if they got it right, they got it right. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes they do get some things right in the show. So, I guess it's, it's nice to see that, but yeah, seeing Reyna go back to the Vale and just get like pimp slapped. What the hell you doing back here, fool? So based on the conversation that she has about if you are discovered, what it means, not only for you, but for me as well. Like, there's this nice little hole here that we can push you through and you'll fall. I don't think your dragon will save you, but it kind of leads me to believe that I don't think the rumor is going to get out. Now, I think it does still preserve the slight possibility of Reyna just thinking, well, I'll just change my name. Can't change her look though. You've been able to watch any other series while watching this. I know you're checking the new Spider-Man movie, and have been able to stay away from spoilers. So I will be seeing Spider-Man opening night this Thursday. I have like a pretty early showing, like 7:45. Listen, I'll tell you what. I know people out there might be skeptical and might not want to watch the movie, or maybe people are going to be waiting for other people to give their feedback. I saw Gary Neurotic say earlier, like, please let this be good. And that's kind of like where I'm at too, where, I know other diehard Spider-Man fans are kind of over the whole Toby, not over Toby, over the whole Tom Holland and Zendaya story and being in Spider-Man. But I'm like, Tom Holland ain't going nowhere. He's going to be in more Spider-Man movies. Which is fine. But to me, this might seem like this could be just as good as Homecoming, because I think Homecoming is the best out of the three so far. But it could be an actual movie where this is Peter Parker trying to figure things out for himself. Like he doesn't have anyone, so it's almost forcing him to grow up and become a man. Because there's no Tony Stark, there's no Aunt May, no Uncle Ben, and I think obviously from what we know, he's obviously going to Bruce Banner, but we'll see to what extent. And obviously he talks to Frank Castle, which I'm curious to see how that relationship is going to pan out. So, and I think what I'm going to do, Corbo, is, because I don't know if I probably won't be able to stream Thursday night after I get back. We'll see if it's not too late. Since I usually do like a gaming stream on Thursday. But I think Friday afternoon, I'll set up a stream and talk Spider-Man. And maybe I'll do like no spoilers initially, and then I'll do like a segment talking spoilers just to kind of give people some awareness. But other shows, X-Men 97, watching that. I am watching Paradise Season 2. I don't know if you guys ever watched the show called Paradise. It was on Hulu. I didn't see a lot of people talking about this when season 1 came out. Great show. Season 2 is pretty damn good so far too. That is a show that I definitely suggest people to watch. But aside from that, I don't think I've seen much else. Like I was starting to rewatch The Gentleman season 1, since season 2 is coming out in September. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, nothing else. She could still marry Joffrey. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I think it's because he was just so attached to the possibility of Jace being it. Like, or maybe like she had the chances of being queen because he had a better chance of being king as opposed to like maybe Joffrey. But again, since Jace is gone, Joffrey could still, Joffrey's there. But obviously, George didn't write it that way. Renier Mayal, I've also joined Leonor and Carl Corey from the time to time, if you believe Mushroom's account. Yeah, and see, that's the one thing that I like about the book, because it always kind of, Mushroom is, the dwarf where it's like he's creating the stories and the potential rumors that he hears as a narrative to us, or like a narrative in the history book. And I wish we had that in the show. So like, I definitely think there are things that are left out from like a conveying standpoint. She's still the most viable wife for any of Rhaenyra's heirs. 100%. 100%. That's why, like, and maybe she thinks she's not suited, or like her hope is dwindled because she was already with Jace. So like maybe Rhaenyra was like, now I've lost my confidence in you, and I've lost my faith in you to be with one of my sons. What's going to happen if you're with another one? Is that we're going to wind up dead? It might be a bit harsh for her to say that, but knowing Rhaenyra, she probably could say that. And again, maybe that's what Bela's thinking. Maybe. Rhaenyra getting a dose of act right finally. The song up was satisfying. Oh, dude, that was so good. Yeah. I don't know how much of Rhaenyra we're going to still see, but I'm just sort of actually, wait, we do see Sheep Stealer in the preview of next week. So I don't know what that means. Gene Aaron, no one knows you're here in the Vale except a dozen guards that are standing in the room, plus however many it took to drag you here from your cave. Yeah, and I was thinking Gene Aaron's like looking around like, if any of you tell anyone else what happened in this room, I will know was one of you. You'll no longer have a job here because you're going to go through the moon door. Let that be a lesson. She could be unrecognizable if she lets. So yes, I'm glad you said that, 40 Viking, because that was one of the things I'm like, the only way she could potentially change her look is if she's scarred. So I wonder if Sheep Stealer might burn her a little bit, like, because cutting your hair off is not going to do anything. So it's almost like she has to like heal from the burns as well, which, you know, we know Dragonfire is no walk in the park. I mean, look at look at poor Aegon, you know. But that could happen, and then they could be like, oh, look, it's Nettles. That's a no for me, dog. Yo, what's up, Robin? How you doing, man? Hope you're well. Is Doctor Strange affected by his own spell at the end of the last film? Does he know who Peter is? I want to say it even affected him. But also, I don't know why it would matter if it didn't. Like, it's not like Doctor Strange is going to go around going like, hey, guys, it's Peter Parker. Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Like, it's not going to do that, right? If anything, I think it would be good for Doctor Strange to still know who he is, so he knows where to, like, portal in. Like, hey, Peter, there's a crazy guy in like a green cloak and a metal mask. We got to go fight him now. Could use your help. But obviously, he could still find Peter or probably find Spider-Man anyway. But yeah, Mushroom is George's pervy standard, 100%. I don't know why they keep focusing on Reyna. She literally has nothing to do with anything until it's time for her to marry Ormond's son. Which is that it? Like, do you think that's going to happen either? I don't even know. Like, if they go the route where she changes her look even more now, I think that whole plot line may be out the window. You forgot Peter? Okay. That's what I thought, but like, it would be fine if it didn't, or if he didn't, but yeah, we'll see. Apparently, the leaked trailer that was from Comic-Con will be premiering before the Spider-Man movie, which, I mean, I watched the leaked trailer. The sound's obviously a little muffled. You can kind of see a decent amount, but it's not justice to, like, I think that trailer that was leaked is a legitimate trailer, not the one that we got. Doctor Strange is on Calypso's Island with Charlize Theron. Yeah, I don't know where Cleo's going to fit in, bro. Like, there's still some things that I'm like, I don't know how all y'all going to bring this all together. So we will see. It's like, I didn't see Doctor. I don't even know if Doctor Strange is going to be in the first movie. I forget if they had the chairs out, if Benedict Cumberbatch's name was on that chair or not. I don't remember. If anything, I know. So for those of you who have read the Secret Wars comic book run from 2015, Jonathan Hickman, great comic book run, highly recommended, but people are reading it. God Emperor Doom actually has Stephen Strange as his right-hand man. So Strange actually kind of serves Doom in Secret Wars. So what's up, Rex? Man, Nick looking good as hell. I showered today. mean, I shower every day, but if you'd said I look exhausted, I'd be like, I am, but it's fine. I put on a good poker face. Sure, we don't even know if Orman is in the show as a son, right? Like I haven't heard that yet. And the only son that we know that's potentially coming is Helena's. You're talking about House of the Dragoon, season 3, episode 6. Orman doesn't have any kids. Gwen is the heir to the High Tower. Well, Gwen's going to be gone within the next 2 episodes, so I don't think Elena's going to do anything. You know what's? I wouldn't be surprised if they just kill Rhaena off too. I mean, what purpose is she going to serve? I'm in the UK, so technically you could go see it tomorrow, but from spoilers I've heard, which I won't divulge, gives me pause. Interesting. Oh yeah. Actually, no, I remember seeing that there was a special showing if you had Amazon Prime and you could get a movie ticket on a Wednesday, which I tried to do, but it was already sold out. So, but I mean, listen, this movie is going to make money. It is going to make a lot of money. And, you know, whether it's good or not will remain to be seen. You know, I've seen every single trailer that's come out for it so far. I don't know how some of these things are going to fit together, like with the story, you know, him turning into more of a spider. You've got the Hulk and Gray Hulk apparently, or, you know, Bruce being in it, Frank Castle's in it, Scorpion, right? So, and then the theory as to how Sadie Sink fits into all this. Is she Jean Grey? Is she not Jean Grey? Is she the real Mary Jane Watson? If so, what does that mean? Because like in the trailers, right, we see Peter Parker getting a little jealous because his MJ, like Zendaya MJ, is like chatting and kind of like getting it on with some other dude. So I wonder, which I don't think is going to happen, because I know in the trailer he's like, but you got to believe me, like I know you, and like I'm gonna save your life. And so she's like, okay, and she goes with him. So I almost wondered if there was going to be, up until I saw that trailer, I almost thought there was going to be a moment where he's down and like depressed and he doesn't know how to approach Zendaya's MJ, Michelle, call her Michelle. And here comes Mary Jane Watson, played by Sadie Sink. And then there starts to create some drama. Because then now he's fallen for Mary Jane, the true Mary Jane Watson, and not Michelle. So we'll see. I don't know how else Sadie Sink could play. I really don't. They don't know either. Yeah. Okay, so Cumberbatch was not on a chair. So listen, he might not even be in the first movie unless they could purposely withheld him from it. But and this is gonna, I'm gonna say this right now. They have too much to make up for to shove everything into one Secret Wars movie. It needs to be 2 parts. You need to have Secret Wars Part 1 and Secret Wars Part 2. And I don't know, maybe call it Battle World. I don't know. Just keep it into Part 1 and Part 2. I mean, look, yeah, they split the Deathly Hallows from Harry Potter into 2 parts. That's 1 book. I think the runtime is going to be one of the biggest factors for both movies. Like, I think Doomsday is under 3 hours, like 2 hours and 43 minutes. To me, too short. I know some people are like, nah, that's even long for me. Nah, man. It needs to be a 3.5 hour. Doomsday should be a 3.5 hour movie. And then I think Secret Wars, you either split that into 2 movies that are like 2.5 hours a piece, or you give us a banger Return to the King style, and you just go, here's a 4-hour movie, guys. Enjoy. They won't, though. And thus my expectations are automatically lower. Old Benedict. Did you know that Benedict Cumberbatch can't say penguin? I don't know if you guys ever saw that clip. He was like doing this nature show, and he keeps trying to say penguin, and he starts saying it as like penguin, starts saying it all the different ways that penguin is actually supposed to be pronounced. So penguins are one of Benedict Cumberbatch's arch nemesis. How do you feel about the King plot line falling through? Maybe I'm a minority, but I didn't think it should have gotten sacked. I think it was stupid. I think they should have hired a new actor, replaced Jonathan Majors, and continued on for it. And I don't know if people have seen, I think like maybe me kind of posting some stuff on X where I've been saying how I wanted to build up for Doom. People are like, oh no, Doom doesn't need a build up, and because this all stemmed from Kevin Feige being like, oh well, Thanos didn't really have a build up, and I'm like, come on, dude, Feige. I know I've been saying you're washed, but like, don't discredit the whole phase, 1, 2, and 3. There are multiple movies that had a build up for Thanos. Every mentioning of an Infinity Stone is a build up to Thanos. It started with Captain America, the first Avenger, with a Tesseract, and Red Skull getting zoomed into the cosmos. And then we have Thor, Dark World, the first Avengers movie, Age of Ultron. What am I forgetting? Guardians of the Galaxy. Technically Ms. Marvel. I know. But there are multiple movies. The post-credit scene, obviously, with Thanos, it's like, fine, I'll do it myself. Like, the character does not need to have screen time in order to promote build-up. It's like world building 101. Doesn't have to be the literal person, the literal object that has all the pages written, all the words written, all the screen time, other things that are correlating and encompassing that character that's leading up to it. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying, oh, well, I don't know if this is a great analogy, but say, oh, well, Voldemort didn't really get that much build up because he was in the 4th movie. What about the first 3 movies that had no build up to Voldemort either? It's kind of like Kevin Feige's thought process, but yeah, we'll see. I'm curious to see what the post credit scenes are going to be like for Spider-Man 2. That'll be interesting. They don't have enough episodes left to deal with Orman's kids. Yeah, which I think they're just going to write them off. You're not going to see it. I think it'll do very well at the box office. Yeah, listen, man, it was tough to find tickets around here. And I definitely think it's going to be like it's definitely going to hit $1 billion globally, 100%. I don't know how fast it'll hit 1 billion, but it'll definitely hit 1 billion. James says he was fine with Kang before Quantum Kami Mania, but he got Fakud. That's for sure. Well, and the other thing too, Jammer, we're like, the idea of Kang having all these different characters that are all Kang, like there's so much that you could have explored, which is kind of what they were doing, right? Like I'm like, Kang had more buildup than Thanos did for being on screen for some rendition, because you had him in Ant-Man 3. You had him in Loki season 1 as He Who Remains. And then you had him in Loki season 2. I can't remember the name that he went by in season 2 when they go back into like the past and seeing him as the inventor, right? And then I think that was it, right? Just those 3: Loki season 1, season 2, and Ant-Man the third movie. So, I mean, he had build up. We were building up to Kang the Conqueror movie, right? If Sarah Hess was writing it, Aemond will kill Damon at the God's Eye Arena. Will swoop in and kill Aemond in girl power. Yeah, I know. Well, thank God she's done right in these episodes. Ormond is supposed to have 4 sons, one named Garmund, who marries Rhaena in the book at least. Yeah, and I feel like that's, how, what's his face? Conlon was saying like, oh, he spoke about this after the Battle of the Gullet, where he's like, oh, yeah, well, they're not in it. The Jason's brothers aren't in it, but that doesn't mean we've forgotten about them. Like, they still matter to the storyline, or like to the bloodline. Well, of course they matter to the bloodline, but like you're screwing the storyline up by not including this, by changing Jace's incentive of why he goes to the Gullet. Yo, what up, Zaxi? How you doing, brother? Hope you are doing well, man. I don't even watch movies. I just come to annoy everyone. You do no such thing, X. It's fine. But yeah, the whole thing about Jonathan Majors though is just Sadie could be Firestar. That could work. Because let's see here. Hold on. When was she first introduced? Yeah, so that's actually a good nomination, 40. Since she first appeared in Uncanny X-Men 1985. Great year. But she's also been involved with Spider-Man before too, though. Originating from the 1981 Spider-Man is Amazing Friends cartoon. She eventually obviously became a member of the X-Men, but she was on the Avengers. I don't know if she's going to be in the Avengers movie. Maybe obviously not Doomsday, but I don't know about Secret Wars either. But that could work. The only question I have is, how do you explain her being a mutant, I suppose. Wait, it's been wait, really? Has it been confirmed? Who said it? Penguins. Yes. Secret Wars 2, Part 2, The Secret Wars is 3.5 hours is the perfect length. I listen, maybe there's another Doomsday cut. We just don't know that that'll exist out there. That's like a director's cut from the Russos. They're like, yeah, Disney want us to trim it down, but we've got like a longer version. It'll be the Snyder cut all over again. King from the get-go was a putz. He was supposed to be the next big bad, and every time we saw him, he was getting defeated. True. I don't think they did a good job portraying how frightening Kang could actually be. So Marvel's fault. That actually hadn't crossed my mind as a recast. I think a recast of Kang would have maintained the build up more than just inserting Doom at this point, seemingly out of nowhere. Exactly. That's what I've been saying for a little while now. And yeah, Thanos was an important part of Guardians of the Galaxy, and Feige was just like, typical Feige, man. Night Beans. I'll see you maybe Friday afternoon. I'm gonna do a Friday afternoon stream. Talking Spider-Man. Who said there was no Thanos buildup? People on the internet, but Feige was very dismissive in saying that Thanos didn't really have any buildup either. Aside from what Dave was saying, how he was so dismissive of Thanos in the first Guardian of the Galaxy, and then in a post-credit scene where he takes the gauntlet out and says, "I'll do it myself." Yes, and then Doctor Strange was the other one. Yes, he got the time stone in that one too. So, but you've got like 6 or 7 freaking movies that were building up to it, that actually had something that was leading directly to Thanos for the Infinity Stones. Most Lokis in the show weren't Tom Hiddleston, but somehow every King had to be Jonathan Majors, right? Yeah, you can have Kid Loki, Sylvie Loki, Frog, Crocodile Loki. Just one Jonathan Majors, though. Yep. And this was like, I mean, you can see my posts online, which I think it was 40 Vikings saw one of them and commented on it, which I appreciate. But like, dude, Jam, people are just like, oh, Doom is the most iconic Marvel villain of all time. He doesn't need to have any build up. I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to diminish Doom as a character by any means. I'm just simply stating that Thanos is also one of the most formidable villains as a Titan, the Mad Titan, in comic book history. Like, there's a reason why it took the entire galaxy to defeat Thanos. And keep in mind, the reason why Thanos was doing what he was doing in the comic book was completely different than the way he was doing it here in the MCU. We got no death. We were lacking so many more characters. And I get they couldn't do that because of the rights and whatnot. But to say and just crap all over Thanos, at least Thanos wasn't some other like recasted character. I mean, I know Josh Brolin was Cable, but that was with Fox. I liked him as Cable. What if it was called Coctor Strangelove instead of flying around on a phone booth and he had to... Oh my God, dude. But yeah, Dave is exactly right here. And yeah, he is. I'm like, dude, why are you making excuses though? Like it doesn't make any sense. Victor Timely. That's what it was. Yeah. Which I think they might have just made that up too. But yeah, what's up, Bootzilla? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. I agree. I think she'll be a good Firestar. Um, oh, okay. So the film critic gents confirmed it. Hmm. No, I knew what he was referring to about the 3.5. I said hours instead of inches. I knew Kang from Raw Comics Explained. I know real comic fans are divided with those stories. He helped me see for a long time at a rough time. Plus, for me, Rob is so excited, and I was stoked going in. Yeah, I had excuse me. Yeah, I've watched quite a few of Comics Explains breakdowns because he does do a good job at like just putting the actual comic book stories together. Um, I might have watched something from his on Kang too, ironically, Jamma. So, how many times have we seen him get defeated? Wasn't it only once in Quantum Mania where he couldn't time slip so to do what he wanted, which is in the past, was the key to his omnipotence? Yes. And then he got defeated by ants. That was the biggest thing. He was like, this guy is supposed to be so fearsome and he gets defeated by ants. Hey, man. Colony's strong. Yeah. Ants can, what's the statistic that ants could pick up like 8 times their own body weight or something like that? So no wonder they could just be like, yo, Kang, we're gonna scoot you out of the way here real quick. I wonder if Rick and Morty were part of that decision to ditch Kang since they were very similar characters. Maybe. I mean, technically, Kang existed first in Marvel Comics, but I know what you mean. Yeah, we've deviated into Marvel because House of the Dragon episode really didn't have much else to offer. Yeah, it's kind of sad though too, right? Like, because like Mad Dog was saying that like earlier in this beginning of the stream, this was his least favorite episode, but I feel like we've covered everything. Like we've talked about Baylor and Alan. We've talked about everything around Criston Cole. We talked about Orman and Darren and Gwaine. We talked about Reyna and Jane Aaron at the Vale. We talked about Rhaenyra. But like the only things we talked about Ulf and his annoying wife. Like the only thing we might not have touched on a bit is like, okay, Daemon took it upon himself and killed the guy that was at King's Landing. He was killing all the other gold cloaks. He's dead. Don't know what that's going to really mean. If anything else is going to change because of that. And then what else? There's the conversations between Allison and Rhaenyra where like Allison is still judging Rhaenyra, but Rhaenyra's like, I have to, double down on guard duty. I'm gonna have to like lock you down a little bit more. You can't go to the Godswood. Like, so like there's this like bartering, like the moment like she like grabbed Rhaenyra's arm and the guard's like, I'll kill you. I'm like, well, it's a bit excessive, but which I thought about after the fact. I'm like, it's kind of interesting she grabbed her on that arm because I think that was the same arm and spot that Allison cut her arm with the dagger in season 1 right after Aemon loses his eye. And she's like, nah, I'm going to go for one of your son's eyes. And she's like, no, you won't. And she kind of just like gets all crazy. Probably something that was not intended by them and just something I put together because I'm smarter than the writers. But anyway, yeah, like I'd say for their conversation, like Rhaenyra allowing Helena to stay and then giving Allison the freedom to just secretly leave to have another potential storyline of killing your son. Like, do that for me and we're square. Aside from that, though, like, I don't know what else from the episode is worth kind of going over. I mean, honestly, like, okay, maybe the stuff with Damon and sorry, not Damon, Aemond and Alice Rivers, which I will say in the book, a lot of what happens is just by rumor. It's not, they don't really go into it a lot, but in this episode, we kind of start seeing them like, I mean, obviously, like they're going to get intimate. And so this is obviously where she's going to get preggers from Aemond. Because she's like, oh, look, here's 5 dragon eggs. And now you can rebuild the Targaryen, bloodline and let them flourish. And like, I can have your baby. So I don't know. Like I think it's one of those things where like, because they're dragging out so much to begin with, and they're filling a lot of it in to create time in space where there is none, because George didn't write the book this way. And I understand why George was like, I'm out. But I think because of these slower parts, I mean, we talked about it a lot, where if you take all the slower parts out that didn't happen in the book, and you kind of just start to piece things together a little bit more, sandwich them, you would have less episodes and maybe 3 seasons at the most. But like, we could have been done with this. Like, the series could be ending in 2 weeks at that point. So we wouldn't have had to have waited super long. And then because everything would have been just crammed short. I mean, they did it in season 1. I don't know why they didn't do it for the next 2 seasons, because it was money. But now you're getting like less ratings. You're getting more like, reviews that are not what you really want. I don't know what the Nielsen ratings are with how many people are watching per week. I don't even know if that's updated on Wikipedia for Pete's sake, but yeah, I don't know what else they could really do though for her. Faceless Men Theory. So the way I took this title of the episode was very much a metaphor for all the men in this episode that are kind of having their value removed. So Cole dies. We can kind of see the changing of Ormond, Gwaine, and Daron. Even Damon, he puts on a helmet where he's unknown up until the end, until he bumps into Ulf, right? So I don't know if it's like this sort of analogy they were trying to go for that was kind of more in line of like who these men were and are no longer. And I don't know if that's like I don't know if they're trying to emasculate them or make them lesser men, but aside, this isn't like Game of Thrones where it's a man has no name. Like, that would be a real faceless man. So I'm like, they've got to be alluding to some sort of metaphor here or something along those lines. But I didn't watch like the post credit episode, where the actors and Ryan Condal will talk about like, oh, why we named it that way. I don't even know if he mentions why they named this episode Faceless Men. I mean, hell, they named episode 4 Tumbleton when we just see Tumbleton. It wasn't like the Battle of Tumbleton. Like, title the damn episode something else that makes sense. I expected more from Allison and Helena trapped in the walls. to maybe have them hear something they shouldn't. Hopefully, Helena drops that Misery knew about her pregnancy and lied, so she will die. Yes, because there's the moment she's like, "You didn't hear anything," and she's like, "No," and she has that like, puzzled look on her face, like, "Shit, maybe I should have said something." Like, you didn't suspect Helena was pregnant, right? She's like, "Nope." It's like kind of wondering, did my bargain with Alicent play out well? If Rhaenyra figures out that I did, because she'll be like, "Oh, now you betrayed me, Lady Misery. So now I can't trust you. Get the hell off my council." And so then who knows what's going to happen with her? Double cross again. Just remove her. Just, yeah, kill off her character, please. Yes. Yeah, rather, that was the other thing. Because she cuts her one of her fingers on her left hand, right? And she kind of hides it, and then she like is embarrassed and like has to quickly leave after that because she's getting questioned by everyone, right? So I definitely think they're alluding to something else there, by the throne cutting her, because I think it's definitely like a remembrance of her father, and so she doesn't want to go down that same path that happened to her father because she knows exactly what that looks like. Every time Rhaenyra and Alicent share a scene, I expect them to get dragged to be dragged apart. Going, "I treasure your friendship." Yeah, every time they're together, I'm thinking this is going to be the scene when they make amends and they like kiss and make up, and they'll be like, "Okay, look, granting immunity to Alicent Hightower. We're cool now, guys." But everyone else, no. Or when she leaves to find Aemon, they break into a song like Wicked. I'll be fast forwarding to that point. What about the speech that the assassin gives Daemon? I don't remember it all that well. Ironically, I wonder if I could pull it up real quick, because maybe we'll go over that. And I was just kind of quickly moving the episode around on a different page here on my other monitor, and I forgot that Aegon and and Larys and what's his face, Lannister, they're digging a hole for the guy that Aemon killed. They're in it for like what, a couple minutes at that. Let's see here. Hold on. I totally even forgot that was in this episode. It's all like meaningless. I think it was. No, let's see here. Hold on. I'm trying to find it, y'all. Hold on 1 second. All right, there it is. Let me. It probably was a bait and switch for Tumbleton. Okay, here it is. I found it. So this is, how many are there? He says, we have no number.
We are everywhere.
What did Ormond Hightower promise you? Gold? Huh? Place at his table when he takes the throne.
There's a king waiting just outside these walls. And until Darren the Daring takes his rightful place, we will not rest.
Darren the Daring. We'll pause it here for just a second. Which, What a bad way to die. Stabbed to the ear. Does Sunfire miraculously return next episode? Or did they say, I want to say that will probably be the finale. Because Aegon says, okay, so let's go to Essos, right? So my thought is they go to Essos in 7, and then Sunfire wakes up in episode 8. Daron or Darren, Daeron, Daron Targaryen. He's the brown-haired squire that's being groomed in the High Tower. They dyed his hair blonde, or from blonde to brown. See, okay, let's keep playing.
Then your kind will die in dragon fire, or trampled down by my army.
Will she lay waste to our own city? Will she set upon our own people with swords? You'll never find us. We're the people of the Seven Kingdoms. We have no sign or sigil. And when you strike us, you only drive more to our cause.
Yeah, so we're everywhere. We have no sigil, we have no name. Which, I mean, it does remind me of kind of reminds me of like the Septons in what season was that, Game of Thrones, when Cersei gets locked up, that whole prelude. Double groomed.
You rebel against one who has neither wished nor done you harm.
You can burn us. You can kill us. You'll never make us embrace her.
Well, okay, so it was season 6. Yeah, that's what like these people remind me of, what he was saying. Like, we're everywhere. So yeah. Again, I don't know how much this is going to play aside from what's happening right now, but let's do this. I'm gonna pull up the preview again from next week's episode. Episode 7, the penultimate episode. I don't know if we have a name yet, but right, or Sons of the Harpy and Marine. That's another one. Yep. The more you drive people to our cause, we can't defeat it, blah, 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 blah. I think you're hard, mate. Yeah, no. Like you stand before the face of Prince Daemon and you get shanked in the ear. Yeah. I think so too. And then you just out of here. And then no one cared when Cersei nuked the Sept and the small folk forgot they were religious. Right. Exactly. So it's almost like if that could happen. Something similar could happen in this instance too, but pretty vague. Could just be a regular hired assassin who was able to kill 25 yellow or gold cloaks with no witnesses in broad daylight in an odd ritualistic manner. Yeah, because it's like he knew the ins and outs of King's Landing, that he knew exactly. They probably studied the routes, who went where, the best spots to take him down, right? So, all right, let's look at next week's episode. Unzip preview.
A new dawn is coming.
Hold on. So I think that looks like, is this Is that Gwaine on a horse? It looks like Gwaine. There's no way that would be Darren riding around. I wanted to go back to this though, because she's still fooling around with her fingers on the damn chair that she's already cut herself. What, twice on now?
A new line of unsullied kings.
Now, I don't know who Aegon looks a little startled to see here. Sorry, I'm like framing going. Like, I don't know who he could be startled to see here in this moment. But he looks a bit a little concerned. Did he say a new Dorn? Yeah, maybe it's Sunfire waking up. Could be. That would be one reason for him to be like, hold on now. Hodor.
A new line of unsullied kings.
My queen, we've seen something strange.
So we've seen something strange. There's Adam and Bela. That looks like the throat goat. Our boy Crax's, right? By the shadow. Okay, it was New Dawn. Okay. I don't think so. Aemon, yes. Aegon, no. But yeah, that's his noodle neck. Yeah.
Mother.
Yeah. Okay. He just says mother. So here's.
There's a fog that surrounds her. She has come to do you some evil.
Here's the crazy girlfriend trying to pit the son against his mother. Oh boy. But yeah, I wonder what she's going to say. Okay, do you think they're gonna have her just betray? She's gonna betray Rhaenyra. She's gonna say like, look, here's why I was sent here. But truth is, I just wanted to make sure that you were alive. You know. Sound effect added by someone mocking the dialogue. Okay, so that looked like it was, excuse me, Gwaine writing in.
I have a piece on the board now that will bring the Savage Queen to her knees.
I have a piece on the board now that will bring the Savage Queen to her knees. Piece on the board now. I wonder if this could be, yeah, I was gonna say Ulf or Hugh. Or Corlys, yeah, that's right, because they do snag Corlys at the end of this episode, or episode 7. Sorry, episode 6. They get him at night. Yeah, having Corlys, okay. Definitely a piece on the board.
You may refuse me as your sister, but I may compel you as your queen. Now tell me what you know.
Why'd they do Helena so wrong in this show? Like, what is this face she's got going on right now? Like, the disgust is so real. I feel like Helena's gonna turn to Gollum. Let me go, precious. Mustn't touch us. Nasty woman you are. I may compel you forcefully. Grabs wrist slightly. Ooh, I'm so scared. This is what the 11th Doctor got up on his night up, got his off time for jollies. Yeah. Oh, that looks like an army. So army's marching in 7, so it means battle in 8. Hopefully Helena lays some prophecy on Rhaenyra. You're gonna get eaten. Yeah, I could see it like, you may compel you, but I'm gonna compel your story. You're not gonna make it alive through this. Or she's gonna say like your doom. Oh, because that's the other thing. Alicent tells Rhaenyra, right? She has dreams, and she's like, oh, she's a dreamer. Like what's her face saw the doom. So I wonder if Rhaenyra is going to talk to Helena about the prophecy, and like Helena is going to have this like smirk on her face. Oh, you think the prophecy is talking about you? Huh? Not. Yeah. Helena might kind of spook Rhaenyra a bit. Why did she get someone else to intimidate her into talking? That's a good point. Probably because she thought, oh well, we're like related, so maybe Rhaenyra thought like that might be somewhat comforting, but also at the same time, like she's kind of dumb for thinking that. Oh, there's a lot of frames there, but oh wait, going forward. Okay. Is that Eric July on the right? I'm kidding. It's more Aegon. Could be looking, thinking, wondering if Sunfire's awake. I wonder if this is Aemond looking at his mother still while he's in Harrenhal. I don't think he's like looking at Vhagar or anything of the sort. So it's like, and then we have a sheep stealer. I do. I think I said this before. I do like the design of sheep stealer. It's got that underbite going on. It's definitely one of the cooler looking dragon designs in the show. It was better resolution of it. Needs an orthodontist. Yeah. Dude needs an orthodontist and a bit of a makeover, you know. Be a nice shave. I mean, he's just a dirty dragon. He's been in the slums, you know. That guy just was looking for some help. Didn't really get it growing up. He was abandoned. Left to die. I guess that's it, right? Sure is. Okay, so now let me look for the stills for next week. Or the promo pictures as they're called. Right? Mm-mm-mm. Why can't I find them? Usually online by now. Grew up on the streets, could not afford a dentist. I know, right? Sheep Stir is pretty big. I want to say he's about the same size as Caraxes, but yeah, he I mean, you might be right. He could be bigger. I think Sheep Stealer is probably like Sheepster is probably bigger than Silverwing and Moon Dancer, but I don't think it's bigger than Vermithor. Obviously, maybe could be the same size as Caraxes, maybe even Cyrax as well, which we haven't seen. We haven't seen her in a long time. Ideas that Reyna in Sheeps that are kill Vagar is more plausible. Could be. Yeah. Sheepster is definitely a bigger dragon, right? Um, I don't know if I can. Have they not put any promo pictures out for episode 7? Usually I can find them. Maybe they didn't. Yeah, when Vermithor was like getting all like into like rubbing up on Silverwing, I was like, yo, man, Silverwing just looks so much smaller. Huh. I can't find the promo photos. Maybe they didn't do it because it's like the penultimate episode. There's like two episodes left, and they're like, we don't want to do this yet. Usually I can find them online, but um, I was gonna also check. Because the other dragon we have not seen in a while. Oh, and we haven't seen Cyrax in a while. But I was wondering if we were going to see Cannibal at all, but probably not. Unfortunately. Trying to see if there's anything on Reddit, unfortunately. I don't think there's any promo pics on here that I have not seen yet. So that might be it. We'll have to wait till next week. That's trailer reaction theories. There's a possible leak I'm just reading right now. But I don't. Yeah, it seems far fetched, honestly. So yeah, not a wonderful episode. I think last week was a little bit more boring. But we got some decent moments in this. I think last week we said that one of the best parts of episode 6, sorry, episode 5, was the conversation between Laris and Aegon. We don't really get like a good conversation like that. Oh, wait, hold on. No, false alarm. Let's see. AI says from largest to smallest: Vagar, Cannibal, Vermithor, Silverwing, Dreamfire, Sheepstealer, Melees, Caraxes, Sea Smoke, Syrax, and Sunfire. Huh. I would have thought that Vermithor would be bigger than Cannibal, though. Because then Sheepstealer seems like it's bigger than Silverwing. I know, we're like, and what was the other wild dragon? Because there's 3 wild dragons. There's Cannibal, Sheepstealer, and Grey Ghost. We're not going to see Grey Ghost at all either, I don't think. Yeah. Yep. So we're not going to see either of those dragons. Now, there was a bit with Alice having 5 eggs with Dreamfire. Was it a Harrenhal? That was weird. Yeah. That kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, 5 dragons. And I was trying to think after that. I'm like, I don't remember that in the book. But also, where do the other 2 dragon eggs go to? Because we only see 3 in the beginning of Game of Thrones, right? I did find a leaked still from episode 7, but it's like which I don't mind if you guys want to see a leaked still. I'll pull up the leak still if you guys want me to. Otherwise, if not, I'll refrain. Because I think it might allude to something. And I almost don't want to do it. Yeah, Grigos is the smallest of the wild ones. The 3 can go through the 3 Rhaenyra sent with her sons to Essos, right? So then how there's 5 more? Not a great plan. How are they going to live long enough to build a rival clan of dragon riders? But Alice is crazy. She certainly is, she has those delusions of grandeur, and I think she just wants to like sleep with Aemond and potentially just be someone. I do think there would be some blood ritual between Helena dying and Sunfire getting resurrected. Could be. Could be, Brent. Could be. Yeah, it's got to be, which, you know, I'll be kind of curious to see what happens with them. In a distant land, Drogon, who flew away in the season 8 of Game of Thrones, has somehow found those 5 dragonades and has made them hatch, giving a birth to a new era of dragons. Then Jon Snow finds those dragons and rules them all. Maybe they end up in Summerhall. Maybe. I don't think the eggs in here are real. They're black with no color. Ah, that's a good point. They looked like they were just kind of like not rotten, but they looked like they were potentially like just duds. You know, like yeah, these weren't going to amount to anything. Petrified, yeah, like. But I also I could see it maybe being an illusion that maybe she was tricking Aemond into like seeing her picture and just she's like manipulating him with her words. In her witchery, then Arya sells in from the west of the west. Yeah. What is it? Arya's going to go in the spin-off show. Arya's going to go to the land where like Daemon says that men have wings and can fly. Yeah, Jon Snow just originally wanted to go back and hang out with his buddy Tormund. Yeah, we'll see who knows nothing. My stupid brother in a wheelchair. Unfertilized eggs like you buy at the grocery store. Yeah. Listen, those dragon eggs, I wonder how much protein those things have. Probably a ton. Are they still doing the Arya spinoff? I don't know. I haven't looked into that in a while. Apparently, how long was this reported? I mean, I don't really trust some of these articles I'm looking at, but it says they're in early development for an Arya spinoff show. Yeah, the yolk is the size of a basketball. Vermithor was about to fertilize some eggs last episode. Yeah, he was like, yo, we got some alone time on this hill. No one's watching. The only spin-offs or the only related shows are those two. And then, of course, the Aegon the Conqueror movies. Whenever those are going to actually come out. And yes, the animated show for the Sea Snake is still happening too. So I guess you could count that, even though that is animation from Gandhi Tartakovsky. So yeah, that's fine and fair. You know, I'm okay with that. We did what we talked about maybe a week or so ago. Like, I hope it's good, but obviously it is a matter of maybe seeing how long the season is and then how many episodes there are, that whole thing. But so, but yeah, we'll see what happens next week. Will we get Sunfire, or will we have to wait one more week for the finale? That'll be the big question. Based on one image I saw, it could be next week. Not going to say anything about it, but it has to happen this season. I think it has to happen within one of these 2 episodes. It would be dumb for them to push it back to like the premiere of season 4, episode 1. I can't see them doing that. But let's see, who else is streaming right now? Oh, Leon's still streaming, huh? Or is he about to? Oh, never mind. Leon just ended his show. Just kidding. Who else we got streaming right now? We got. Is Bob still streaming? Box Office Brawler? Did he call it a night? And he was talking about 7. How cool would it be to see Dragons getting it on and ignoring their riders, calling them Rhaenyra is pissed. Cyrax, I told you no. Damon cheers Caraxes on and laughs. Yeah. That would be kind of funny. They're like, well, we can't interrupt the mating seasons of what's it called? Of dragons. So they've been singing Sunfire's dead so often, he's got to be alive. 100%. If you say it enough, it'll happen, right? What's going on? Strong opinions. Criston Cole, Sir Black Pill himself. May he rest in peace. As the realm's greatest warrior that did not receive a song in his name. But you know, I wonder if anyone else will mention him dying, I guess. They might taunt him. Maybe they'll taunt, be like, "Oh, we killed your boy at Butcher's Ball." Maybe. And yeah, we had said like 2 weeks ago, like Sunfire did not look like there was any decay. It looked like it was like just in dragon slumber instead. I think that's going to be a season 4 reveal. That's either going to be like the finale or like the first episode of season 4. I think that's what we're going to see. I don't think it's going to happen next week. Based on what we've seen, like from the preview. So either finale or season 4. Yeah. Like they might even, yeah, they might even introduce the shepherd. Oh God, I could see that happening too. All these plot lines are just given to other people, and the character just getting written out of being in the show. Dragons included. Dragons included. No one's safe. So what happens to the 5 dragons at Harrenhal? We were just mentioned this a little bit earlier, like 5-10 minutes ago. Like either they're fake and they're an illusion created by Alice to subdue Aemond, because they look like they're duds. It's like there's no life in them, like they're like or petrified, as we were saying. And if that's the case, like they don't exist in the book Fire and Blood or anyone else. So if they're just created for the show, then what leverage are they going to have, or like what use are they going to have, right? Or if again, like they could just be an illusion that kind of hypes Aemond up even more to be like, you know what? Now I've got like the juice flowing, the rejuvenation. I've got like that. I found that like motivation to find Vagar and take the throne back, because I can create my new Targaryen empire with these new dragons. It'll take time, but saying like if we can win the battle, he'll have new dragons. And as they age, he can have a new one, because he probably realizes that Vagar's not going to be around forever, because she's I think the book call her a hoary old bitch. So I have a theory that the shepherd will be a mangled Ormond who gets brutally burned at Tumbleton. Oh, could be. Exactly. Yeah. I think it's an old Alice Rivers trick. And yeah, these dragons are like completely made up, nothing to do with anything else in this whole universe for A Song of Ice and Fire. So, and that's why I think it's just more so an illusion, because I'm like, why would you introduce more dragons unless like you're like, oh look, here's new dragon eggs, and then they're destroyed because of battle, and that also kind of just depresses Aemond and or enrages him. Either or would work, I suppose, right? So, yeah, there is that, but so yeah, it'll be interesting. It shall be interesting. Good news is that we only have to wait 5 more days at this point, so won't be too bad. I'm very curious to see how the next 2 episodes will go, though. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel so far, but I think again the season has been perfect, but I think this season has been better than season 2. Not as good as, nowhere near as good as season 1, though. Nowhere near as good as season 1. But Oh, thanks for the gift, Draconis. Appreciate that, man. And you hit Torquil Dranzau 9071. Nice. Baela Targaryen just got over Jace's death and moved on to incest pretty quickly. Yeah, we were mentioning that earlier too, where she's like, yeah, well, in the like last episode, she's like, I have no purpose talking to Adam. And then in this episode, she's like, I might have found purpose with this other dragon rider here, you know. So who's a dutiful man, and that you know, she's just got to keep the trend up, you know. Yeah, definitely far more entertaining than season 2. So again, that's good stuff. It's good stuff. So, but Adam likes Baela. Baela likes Alan. Alan likes sailors, aka seamen. I mean, technically, yes, but not like. But there was a little bit of a gap. I think maybe because Jace was strong, half strong, so he wasn't like full. He wasn't full Targaryen or any Valerian. So like Jace was half Targaryen, half strong, whereas Baela has technically like full dragon blood in her, right? So whether it's Targaryen or Valerian. So, and looks like he's looking for more Valerian blood, or semen. Yeah, technically Jace was a strong man, but not that strong. Second cousins isn't even worth talking about by Targaryen standards. Yeah, I know. If it's not brother or sister or, you know, first cousins, then it's, you know, a waste. Now in our reality, second cousins is still a problem. It's like I don't know if there's ever a number that you would ever stop at. Like, oh, she's like my 28th cousin, half removed. Jace and Baela were first cousins once removed. Yep. Alan's Baela's half uncle, right? Yes. Corliss. Yes, I believe so. And you know what? Still, we have not had either of them actually take the last name of Valerian yet. Like, I don't understand what they're waiting for. Because I think by this point in the book, both of them have been given the proper surname. So, you know, and Alan has been sitting on the council instead of his father. So it's like, I don't understand what you're waiting for at that point. That's like another like a small little detail that's like low key bothering me, but you know, so. But yeah, this was a fun stream, guys. It's good to be back after being out for about a week. So, but yeah, I'll have a afternoon stream on probably Friday afternoon. We'll talk Spider-Man. Brand new day. We'll talk some more Marvel stuff. So I know we had some Marvel conversation going on today. Let's bring that back on Friday. Maybe some X-Men 97 stuff we'll talk about too on Friday afternoon. But yeah, we'll see what next week's episode has for us. I don't think it has a title yet. You know, they usually don't like to reveal the title until the actual like episode premieres, but which I don't think it's been put anywhere online. So I'll check one last other spot. I don't think it's no title yet for episode 7. 2 episodes left though. Yep. I'm gonna do the same thing. So Brent, good to see you guys. Hit that dusty trail. Everyone get some sleep. I am going to sleep hard tonight. I'm exhausted, but chatting with you guys, chatting about this definitely gave me some life and some energy. So I do appreciate it. Thank you for the gifties, Dragon Master and Draconis again. Appreciate you guys. Everyone watching over on X, I see you. Hop on over to YouTube though. We don't bite on YouTube. We don't bite. Because you can't chat on X. It's the only problem with X is you can't chat on X. You can, but you know, I understand if you just want to watch. I appreciate it. So we'll see you guys next so Friday for the brand new day Spider-Man review. Monday night from Ask the Mondays, we're gonna be talking Spider-Man 2002 with Tobey Maguire, his Spider-Man. And then we'll be back here for episode 7, House of the Dragon season 3. So I will see you all then. Have a great night, everyone. Happy hump day tomorrow. And be swell and enjoy your day. Hopefully it's not rainy